Where are we at?
We are in Siaton, getting ready to dive the lighthouse. We're exploring new dives.
Yeah, so we're south of Dauin, south of San Miguel. We haven't been down here yet.
Nope, never. Yeah, this is about as far south as you can go and dive until you get around the occidental side of the island.
Oh yeah. So hopefully you're gonna find us some eels or something.
Yeah, we're gonna do some exploring, look around the reef, possible to see some honeycomb moraines, all kinds of cool stuff.
All I know is I'm eager to get into the water because we had some chocolate milk last night.
We're chocolate
Diving always
wasted.
makes you feel better.
Did you make a video about the grand opening last night?
Yeah.
Alright. Well, it'll be all good under the water. See ya.
Critter Hunter.
So guys, before I jump into this dive, I want to explain that we're leaving all our known dive sites in Dauin behind, and today we're going to dive Langa, Lighthouse, and Turtle Island.
Wait, so I'm sorry.
What's your fin?
Finnsnow.
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, go. Oh. Justin, camera.
So there's going to be a lot of nudies in this episode, including this bright pink one with the yellow butt feathers. I'm a big nudie fan and I like to find different species and varieties of them, so I'm going to show you a lot in this video. Believe it or not, this is also a nudie. I couldn't get him to move or anything, but it's just a really strange species of nudibranch. Pretty awesome and one I've not seen here. Here's another little dude climbing all over the soft corals. This is a really common species. I see this guy all over Dauin and San Miguel area. But I like when they're moving and you can see some cool behaviors. This guy was just sitting on the top of this bush, just sniffing in the wind. Pretty cute little guy. When I looked around, there's usually more than one, and that was the case with this little dude. He was probably trying to sniff out his girlfriend. Here's a little tiny emperor shrimp, and he's riding on the back of a giant sea cucumber. The sea cucumber was huge, and it was really hard to film this little tiny shrimp that was riding on his back. If you get closer, you can see the sea cucumbers. It just never stops moving. He's walking around, slithering around on the ocean floor, while this guy gets a free ride on his back. He's got some pretty cool colors, and it's hard to focus on him. He's so tiny and everything's moving, but it's still pretty cool. I found this awesome looking flatworm, and which, as you know, are related to nudibranch, and it was this black and white color, a color I haven't seen before. Just like nudies, flatworms come in a whole bunch of different colors. And then we ran into our first blue ribbon eel. I haven't seen these guys around Dauin or San Miguel very often. Of course, we did see one in the last episode, but we don't see them very often, and they're quite a treat. I love filming these guys, and sometimes they can be pretty difficult to film, but this guy was really cooperative. I have no idea what kind of fish this is. I was looking in this feathered sea star for my favorite little crinoid shrimp, and this little guy was hanging out, trying to hide inside. And then there's my crinoid shrimp that I was talking about. This is what I was expecting to see, not that funny looking little fish. Crinoid shrimp are always my go-to. They're always fun to see. Although I always see these black and white ones. Here's another awesome lootie, one that I haven't really seen before. I can't really describe the colors on this guy, but I guess you can see for yourself. Finn also filmed this guy, so make sure to go check out his channel because I'm sure he got some awesome footage. But I definitely had to show him this one because it's one that we never see. Awesome species, really. And there's a close-up of his little horns, or what, antenna? Whatever you call those things on his head. Rhinophores? I don't know. He's got a lot of little warty bumpies on his body. And now we have the...
Today's favorite critter. The popcorn shrimp.
Yep, it's a popcorn shrimp. And I see these in a lot of little anemones, especially anemones that don't have clownfish. And this isn't just any popcorn shrimp. If you look closely, this guy is sitting on a whole ball of eggs. Something I've never seen or filmed before. So I sat there for a while trying to focus on his little eggs, and it was hilarious looking. You can't even see his body. It's just a ball of eggs. This Olympus TG6 is a really great camera because I can really see his eye, and then down there I can see his eggs. You have no idea how small those eggs are. I mean, the shrimp itself is probably the size of a tiny marble. So his eggs, you can just imagine. Yeah, this dive site had loads and loads of popcorn shrimp, and I love finding these guys. And this was just the first time I ever seen them carrying eggs. So it was pretty fascinating. Finn filmed it too, but he didn't even see the eggs. I thought he did. But when we talked about it later, he's like, "What? I didn't even see that." We ran into a lot of these black ribbon eels, but if you guys been following along for a while, you know that I have a hard time filming black fish. You just can't see any details or anything like that, as you can see in this clip. So I'm just showing you this, but I'm not going to show you all the other ones we found. This site wasn't pure muck diving. It had a lot of corals actually. A lot of really healthy corals, and it's a place that nobody ever dives. But the strange thing is, even though it had a lot of corals, we were still able to find a lot of little critters. This first dive was really great dive. We're especially happy to see the variety of nudie and the blue ribbon eel.
Ribbon eels. I'm not sure how good my dive was because I had the wide bone and I felt like there was almost more of a backward side than mine. But still beautiful corals. If I would have saw Harry or something, I was just gonna give you my camera. Yeah. But I saw 2 blue ribbon eels, so that's cool. Yeah. Lots of cool nudies. Yeah. Great nudies. Yeah. And we got 2 more to go.
Now Finn knows how to find a surface interval.
Welcome to Turtle Island.
Now this is a surface interval.
Look at this one.
Beaches are cool, but I'd rather be under the waves. So let's go make that happen. So we're back in the water, and the first thing I see is this sea snake. So this dive site is actually really similar to the first one, where it's mostly a ton of reef. And we ran into multiple blue ribbon eels on this one. I think on this day we saw 6 blue ribbon eels, not to mention about 4 or 5 black ones. and they were all really cooperative somehow. It was an awesome dive for blue ribbon eels. I remember not too long ago I was searching for these guys everywhere in Dauin. I really wanted to see one, and now we're seeing 6 on a dive. Here's a giant colorful clam. I guess I thought it would be cool to film. And then we ran into this weird algae or some kind of thing that covered a huge area of the seafloor. It was really weird. Have you guys ever seen this? Here's another awesome flatworm. Definitely a color that I've never seen before. I couldn't really get a close-up of this guy. It was such in a weird position under an overhang. Hard to get my lights and camera under there, but I think you can see how awesome this guy was. This is such a great area down here in Siaton. So many species that we never see around Dauin. As you can see, flatworms, they don't have those naked gills or what I like to call butt feathers sticking out the back, but not a lot of other differences. Here's probably the most common nudie. I even seen these guys in Egypt and Malta and all over the world. I think it's called the pajama nudie, in fact. You don't really pass them up, they're just too cute. Although this is probably the most common that I've seen, they also come in a lot of different varieties. Not this exact pattern every time. Same color, but different patterns. Maybe I'll try to find one for another episode to show you. And this is the end of the dive. Such an awesome day of diving. It's just so much fun because we can see such different species than we normally see on our regular sites around Dauin. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you subscribe because we've got a lot more episodes coming out this week. See you on the next one.